It's been a long journey, Elder Hwayan. Thank you for your presence.
Don't mention it. Thank you for taking the time to welcome me.
General, I brought our guests from the Express. Oh, I'm sorry for my bad timing. I didn't know you were meeting a guest, General.
Don't worry, you're just in time. It's been a while, my friends from the Astral Express. Sure, how couldn't I have? It's not often we find such moments to reunite and enjoy one another's presence.
Since when did she and General Qing Yuan become such good buddies, Dan Heng? They seem to be having a great time.
A lot must have happened without our knowledge. At least, I hope that's the case.
Allow me to introduce you to General Hwayan. He's the Arbiter General of the Xianzhou Zhuming, known as the Flaming Heart.
No need to be so formal. I'm just a tourist here, no different from other tourists who've come to attend the ceremony.
Elder Hwayan is not only one of the Arbiter Generals, but also the Furnace Master of the Artisanship Commission. Besides his martial skills, he excels in forging various weapons. Such talents are unique, even among the Arbiter Generals.
Be it Arbiter General or Furnace Master, these are merely titles given to me long ago. I've retired several times already, but with the current change in circumstances, the Marshal has called me back to duty, and I had no choice but to answer the call. Well, in the end, I'm to blame. Living such a long life naturally brings its share of disapproval.
It's an honor to meet you, General Hwayan.
It's my honor to meet you, General Hwayan.
No need to be all formal. Today I'm just a guest on the Luofu, the same as all of you. So, these three are the ones you mentioned, Jing Yuan? The heroes who helped you with the Ambrosial Arbor crisis?
Indeed. There's Dan Heng, March 7th, and her. Without their help, I'm afraid the Luofu might not have easily overcome this crisis.
So, the Imbibiter Lune's reincarnation has returned to the Luofu and will attend the war dance. I'd love to have a drink with you, should the chance present itself.
You're more than welcome, General Hwayan.
And this young friend is?
Yanqing, my apprentice. He remains by my side as my retainer due to his youth, which I hope will season him with experience. He will stand for the Luofu's Cloud Knights in the upcoming war dance, ready to take on all kinds of challenges.
Great, great! It's a real treat to see so many talented young people around here today. Oh, I almost forgot. This is my apprentice, Yoon Lee.
It's you!
Oh, it's you. Hello.
Oh, you two already know each other? Guess we don't need any introductions, then.
What a coincidence! I was afraid I'd have trouble finding this girl.
Oh? Now you've piqued my curiosity. Tell me, how did you two become acquainted?
She helped me capture the escaped Borisin prisoners at the Starskiff Haven. Allow me to express my gratitude for you. But when you left, you took my flying sword with you.
Your flying sword? Oh, so that's why I found a dagger in my bag. Turns out it's yours.
Yes, it is. Now that we've met again, I hope...
Nope, that won't do.
Won't do?
You want your sword back, right? Well, you can't just take it back. On the Juming, when you lose your sword on the battlefield, you have to reclaim it on the battlefield. As for this little sword, it was supposed to strike that escaped Borisin prisoner. But unfortunately, its owner's agitated state caused it to fly off like a kite with a broken string, and it missed its target. By the way, if I hadn't caught it and helped it hit its mark, that Borisin prisoner would have gotten away.
Hold on a sec, Yunli. You took my sword without even asking, and now you're refusing to give it back?
So much for Luofu's swordmasters.
What did you just say?
If you just stepped up and took your sword back from me fair and square, I would have totally respected you. But nope, you tried to play it down, expecting me to just hand it back to you like it's nothing. In front of everyone. With all due respect, you don't honor your sword, so you don't deserve it.
Hasn't anyone told you that taking without asking is stealing? If you want to settle this with swords, fine. Let's have a one-on-one duel right now.
Yang Qing.
Well, that's more like it. Just be careful, because I'm not as easy to handle as the Borisin.
You two, be quiet and apologize to Yanqing.
Hey! Whose side are you on, Grandpa?
I don't take sides.
It's a small misunderstanding, and an apology would be too much. I've heard about the Zhu Ming's incredible swordplay and craftsmanship, most notably the legendary Flame Wheel Octet. Seeing Miss Yunli, who is among those ranks today, well, I must say she definitely has that fiery edge.
Such grandiose names. Some folks love to spin these fancy titles, trying to set the Cloud Knights apart. Yoon Lee is still just a young girl, a bit awkward and hot-tempered, so please forgive her if she's being rude.
Well, everyone, Elder Huayan and I have some business to discuss. For now, Yang Qing, why don't you entertain our guests and take Miss Yun Li to the inn? I'll find another chance to talk with you all. I'd like to express my gratitude to the Astral Express for helping the Luofu during the crisis.
That's so kind of you. I mean, you've already thanked us so many times.
Please forgive me for coming at an inconvenient time.
You needn't apologize, General Huayan.
All right, Yoon Lee. Take this opportunity to clear things up with Yanqing.
Yeah. It's better to make friends than enemies. But I won't be heading to the inn just yet. I want to visit Lingsha. She just arrived in the Luofu and could use some help settling in.
Yang Qing, once you've helped our guests get settled, go to the Artisanship Commission for me. I've heard about the attack and the detainment of the IPC ship. Qingzu sent word that the IPC members are protesting and wish to have their cargo back. See if you can calm them down. Don't get aggressive. Just make it clear that the Xianzhou Luofu has no intention of violating their rights.
I'm on it. This is the report Qingzu just sent me. Let me take a look. Huh. Looks like the General has given me a tough challenge. He wants me to try and help put the IPC's mind at ease. Well, it's not exactly a test. As Cloud Knight officers, we not only learn the art of war and martial arts, but also occasionally have to handle diplomatic disputes. It's just, talking things out isn't as straightforward as duking it out with weapons on the battlefield. This is especially true when you're up against the IPC, with their non-stop corporate babble. Well, let's not worry about that for now. Shall I take you to the inn?
It is the Luofu's honor to have you in attendance at the war dance. Yet, the fact that a simple martial arts ceremony has attracted esteemed generals from the Zhu Ming and the Yao Qing implies intentions beyond mere spectating. Might there be any specific instructions from the Marshal?
You're overthinking it, Jingyuan. As I said, I'm here to broaden my granddaughter's horizons. I have no ulterior motives. However, I have no clue what the Yaoqing Arbiter General has in mind. Do you remember when you accepted this position? I told you that an Arbiter General's battlefield goes beyond the physical one. You'll need to lead and manage everything on the Xianzhou. The title of Arbiter General holds a weight far greater than its literal meaning. So many years have passed, and you've done well. However, longevity for the Xianzhou people can be a curse. Living too long means that every mistake you made will lurk in the shadows. And one day, they'll eventually catch up to you. The Marshal knows everything that has happened on the Luofu. As for the Merlin's Claw of the Yaoqing, she has come specifically for you. Speaking of which, why hasn't she arrived yet? They say the Merlin's Claw strikes like lightning. Being late isn't her style.
That's not true, General Huaiyan. She's been here a while, but I'm sure you've heard of her unbridled nature.
As soon as she disembarked from the star skiff, she mentioned having something to attend to and simply disappeared.
You must be the messengers from the Xianzhou Yao Qing, I assume.
We are Jiaoqiu and Moza, retainers of the Merlin's Claw. It's an honor to meet you in person, Arbiter Generals.
Now this is interesting. A guest who doesn't come to visit but sends a message instead. What does she mean? Tell me, what could be more important to her than coming here?
Master heard about a spectacular view in Scale Gorge Waterscape. I believe she went there to enjoy it.
A spectacular view? Ha! Did you hear that, Jingyuan? This person is being sarcastic.
Please do not misunderstand me, General Huaiyan. I was simply stating the truth. Master thought it would be inappropriate to keep you waiting, so she sent us here. Once she's finished with admiring the scenery, she'll personally come and apologize to the both of you.
Drat, I forgot to ask Yun Li to return my sword. No need to bother. The Juming envoys won't be leaving the Luofu anytime soon. I'll ask for it later when we meet again. By the way, I don't know if it's just me, but the general seemed a little reserved. Could it be because of Elder Hwaiyen's visit?
Reserved? Really?
Maybe I'm just overthinking things.
No, you're not. When I entered the Palace of Astrum, I realized that the messenger from the Xianzhou Zhu Ming was actually the Arbiter General himself. So, the messenger from the Xianzhou Yao Qing must be the Merlin's Claw herself, I presume.
That's right.
Well, that's what makes this entire thing so unusual.
What's so unusual about it? They simply received an invitation from Jing Yuan, just like the crew, right?
The war dance is just a small festival. And now we have 2 Arbiter Generals from other Xianzhou ships here. I'm afraid they're here for something more. Maybe they've come to hold Jing Yuan accountable for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis?
Hold him accountable? Come on, didn't the Law Fu fall victim to the disciples of Sanctus Medicus and the Antimatter Legion? Why would they blame the victim?
Don Shu's rebellion and Ventilia's scheming are merely one side of the story to the other Arbiter Generals of the Alliance. Only a single piece of incontrovertible evidence remains, creating an endless source of potential complications.
The Ambrosial Arbor.
Yes. It's undeniable that the plague mark, which was subdued by the Xianzhou Lo Fu, has resurfaced. But was it really a conspiracy instigated by the Antimatter Legion? Or does it indicate a traitorous intent from within the Lo Fu, implicating Jing Yuan himself? Once the spark of suspicion is kindled, it proves hard to extinguish.
What was I thinking? Seriously, here I was looking forward to a carefree and enjoyable trip. But it seems wherever we go, drama is just around the corner.
Aw, I was so excited. I thought those Arbiter Generals were just here to see the ceremony. By the way, I heard that an alchemist from the Zhuming diplomatic ship has arrived, and rumors say that she's to be the new Cauldron Master of the Alchemy Commission on the Lo Fu.
An alchemist from the Zhu Ming serving as the Cauldron Master on the Lo Fu? While it's not unheard of, the timing itself...
Thanks to your words, Mr. Dan Heng. Now I finally see the underlying tensions. The General is under tremendous pressure right now, but I was completely oblivious to his troubles. How naive of me.
Come on, don't think like that. Leave the adult matters to the adults. Even if you wanted to do something for the General, it's not like you can do anything. Did I say something wrong? Again?
Miss March is right. I don't have the skills to share the General's burdens at the moment. Still, I'll do my best to follow his instructions. Let's go. Once I've taken you to your accommodations, I need to go to the Artisanship Commission to handle the IPC's protest.
He looks like he has a lot on his mind. We can't just let him go alone. Why don't we accompany you to the Artisanship Commission?
This is too much trouble. While I appreciate your kindness, dealing with the IPC's workers could be tricky. I'm afraid this will cause trouble for the Express.
No worries. We're pretty experienced in dealing with the IPC. You've heard of the 10 Stone Hearts? We've dealt with quite a few of them, right? Yeah, exactly. Are you being sarcastic?
Well, since you're willing to help, I won't decline your kindness. Let's head to the Artisanship Commission and meet them.
Can I really reason with you, Cienjo people? I think I...
But I am trying...
That toxic voice sounds familiar. Haven't I heard it before in Aurum Alley?
You know what? This isn't my first time dealing with the Skyfaring Commission. I can handle your unreasonable ways. But straight up snatching IPC cargo, isn't that going a bit too far?
Just as I've said it many times already. Once we've inspected the cargo and completed the security check, you can be on your way. Is there something wrong with your ears, or is it just your brain?
I'm hearing you loud and clear. I'm thinking clear. And my answer is crystal clear. Not a chance. Keep detaining my cargo, and I'll file a complaint directly with your general. I was gonna ask you the same thing. Why do I keep running into you? You're staying on the Cienjo, are you? What terrible luck. Wherever you go, disasters aren't far behind.
Aren't you the guest from the Astral Express? What brings you and Yanqing to the Artisanship Commission?
They're in trouble? No, it's me! I'm the one in trouble!
Looks like you've met this IPC worker before. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. I was sent here to deal with the IPC protest, Miss Shikue. What's going on here?
As you know, this IPC transport ship was attacked by the Borisin and rescued by the Juming's diplomatic ship. Then the Cloud Knights were instructed to bring it back to the dock for repairs and inspections. And this is Mr. Scott, the person in charge of this transport ship.
So, you're Scott. I've heard her mention you. Weren't you kicked off the Luofu before? Why did you come back?
Like I wanted to come back. I thought I'd just dock at the harbor for repairs and leave this forsaken place for good. Little did I know, as soon as the ship entered the harbor, a bunch of Cloud Knights showed up and snatched all our cargo from the hold.
What do you mean by snatched? I've told you 1,000,000 times. It's a security check.
Then why did you bring the cargo to the Artisanship Commission? You even brought in some shady craftsmen. It's obvious you're trying to steal the IPC's patented technology!
Listen here. Firstly, the Skyfaring Commission detected dangerous items that could possibly be weapons in your cargo hold. That's why they called me here, to double-check. Secondly, where the heck did you get the idea that I'm a shady craftsman?
Even if there are dangerous items, what do they have to do with you? It's not even being shipped to the Luofu. We'll just fix the ship and be on our way. We won't unload our cargo here.
But you'll have to stay in the port for several days before your ship is repaired and you can take off again. How can we just leave unchecked items sitting here?
I understand, but we don't need to disassemble the cargo if it's just a security check, right?
In most cases, we don't. However, our scans discovered that the cargo doesn't only contain machinery, but also some substance that resembles biological tissue.
Biological tissue? Does this crate contain living things?
I'm afraid we'll need to wait for the Alchemy Commission for further confirmation. In any case, according to our regulations, we need to unseal one of the crates for further examination. But this IPC specialist has been hindering us on the grounds of patent secrecy.
The Alliance's regulations on biological products are very strict. Without further inspection, there is no way for the Skyfaring Commission to release the cargo.
Oh, really? Fine! If anyone lays a finger on that shipment, they'll have me to deal with. It doesn't matter if it's mechanical or biological. It's none of your business. I'm filing a complaint against the Skyfaring Commission's ridiculous regulations!
This Mr. Scott seems stubborn and difficult to persuade. Honestly, I really don't want to have a vicious confrontation with the IPC. I heard how you helped Aramali. The IPC representative back then was Mr. Scott, right? Since you've dealt with him before, it looks like I'll have to rely on you again.
What are you guys whispering about over there? Just hurry up and give us back our cargo.
As I recall, this guy won't listen to reason and can only be persuaded with intimidation. But he does seem to follow rules to some extent. Let's use that against him.
Speaking of regulations, we have our own laws and regulations too. According to Article 4 of the Cienjo Alliance IPC Trade Consensus, the Alliance and IPC shall never infringe on each other's intellectual property rights.
The Alliance can sign a non-disclosure agreement with you. That way, you won't have to worry about any infringements, right?
We can sign a mutually acceptable non-disclosure agreement in accordance with the IPC's rules.
Well, that makes sense, but how can we trust you to honor the terms? Even if we set aside the secrecy of intellectual property, these prototypes built by the Intelligentsia Guild are incredibly valuable, beyond your wildest imagination. If anything goes wrong, you won't be able to pay for it even with your lives.
Can you give us an exact amount, Mr. Scott? If there's any damage after the inspection, the Express... the Skyfaring Commission will compensate you.
The Skyfaring Commission. Yeah, they will compensate you, provided a detailed report of the damage is submitted.
I don't doubt the financial strength of the Skyfaring Commission. However, this is not just about money. Besides, the cargo on this transport vessel belongs to the Intelligentsia Guild. If you want to inspect the cargo, shouldn't you at least call in a member of the Intelligentsia Guild to be present?
According to the principle of territoriality, since your vessel is stranded on the Cienjo, the Skyfaring Commission has the right to inspect it.
Indeed. According to Article 27 of the Cienjo Legal Code, all official and private goods upon entering the port shall be subject to inspection. Failure to submit to such inspection shall be deemed equivalent to the possession of unlawful items and
My synesthesia beacon must not be working, because I have no idea what you just said.
Simply put, if you insist on hindering the inspection, we'll have to treat the cargo as unlawful items and confiscate it.
Confiscate it? How can you Cienjo people be so unreasonable?
If this were pure point, and incoming cargo posed a safety risk, the IPC would take it in for containment and disposal, correct?
That's true, but the IPC sometimes makes exceptions. For example, they've always given special terms to Cienjo vessels. Well, you guys sure know how to argue your case. Fine, I'll allow you to do the security inspection. It's just that, I need some time to sort things out. This is a big deal. Let me talk to headquarters first.
So, Mr. Scott, are you just stalling for time and planning to leave the Cienjo as soon as your ship is repaired? To avoid the Skyfaring Commission's inspection?
Well, IPC staff are free to come and go, as long as they don't break any laws.
Yeah, you've got some insight there. Who are you again?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lingsha, Cauldron Master and head of the Alchemy Commission on the Lawfu.
Could she be?
Yeah, she's the new Cauldron Master assigned here from the Cienjo Juming.
I received a report from the Artisanship Commission about cargo containing samples of unknown organisms. It said they needed help from the Alchemy Commission. I had nothing better to do, so I came myself. It's fine, Mr. Scott. If you really don't want your cargo to be inspected, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? How can you say that?
Why are you being so nice all of a sudden? Well, since you're not going to check it, I'll take this crate and be on my way. Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah, sure. Why should I object? Not only this sample, but all the goods on the transport ship are yours to keep. Like I said, we won't inspect them.
Wait a minute!
Well, that's more like it. If only the young displayed a more reasonable attitude, we could have sidestepped that altercation just now. Our ship will leave in a few days once the engines are repaired.
Your ship can leave whenever you want, but I'm afraid I can't say the same for your cargo. According to the import and export regulation signed between the Cienjo and IPC, all biological shipments can only leave the port when they have confirmed to be of no threat, or when all biological activity expires. Since we can't determine if your shipment is safe for the environment, I guess we'll have to wait for its biological activity to expire. Let me check the previous cases. Normally, it'll only take around 47 star calendar years.
Only 47 years?
Why so surprised? You're still young and full of energy. I'm pretty sure you'll live a few more decades. Have some confidence in yourself.
Ha! Typical of a long-life species. Your words are dripping with sarcasm. While you may not care about time, I do. I'll be demanding double compensation from the Skyfaring Commission for every minute wasted.
Sure thing, Mr. Scott. You seem pretty confident that your career and life will last long enough to witness this victory unfold.
Step aside, guys. Let them do the inspection.
But, Mr. Scott...
Come on, we're already in enough trouble. Just let them do the security inspection. And if needed, I can always grovel before the Intelligentsia Guild later. I'm just using my head for what it's apparently good for, right? Well, honestly, at least you're not as annoying as that woman. Just get on with the inspection. Don't act all chummy with me now that you've got your way.
This lady is really something else.
Is this the IPC product?
Listen up. Any damages caused by inspections will be filed with the IPC.
Turn it off!
How unexpected. That was a surprise.
Do not fret. Heaven surge. Rise! Awaken the world-cleansing dragon.
I will dispatch your end approaches. That paradise, savor it for me.
Lance ablaze! Lance forward!
Heaven surge. Break!
You impede. I failed to send you.
Let me take
Heaven surge. Rise!
Lance at the ready.
What's in your prescription?
Nice teamwork.
Bully!
Lance ablaze! Lance forward!
That paradise, savor it for me.
World-cleansing dragon.
You impede.
The strength. Heaven surge. Break!
Were you seriously planning to leave this stuff unchecked at the dock for days? That's way too dangerous.
I had no idea about it! You must have accidentally triggered the cargo's defense program!
I don't think trying to shift the blame is a wise choice.
But seriously, I don't know why that thing suddenly started moving! I swear on the Amber Lord!
Enough. Miss Shikwe, please escort our IPC guest to the Skyfaring Commission.
I'm on it. Please follow me, Mr. Scott.
Our preliminary inspection shows that there is indeed hidden biological tissues inside, just like the craftsman feared. I can't even tell if it's ingenium or biological in nature.
The core of this device is what they call wetware in industry slang. To put it simply, this machine operates with a kind of biological nerve as its control center.
I'll take some samples for the alchemist to analyze and figure out where the biological tissue comes from.
Why would the Intelligentsia Guild use such unethical technology? Perhaps they're trying to create a new weapon?
Whatever the reason is, it's probably why the Borisin attacked the ship. No wonder the IPC were trying to obstruct our inspection. I'll contact the Ten Lords Commission and ask the judges to come and give their final verdict on this. According to our rules, all prisoners and weapons involving dangerous creatures must be taken to the shackling prison for further sentencing. After all, it's the safest place on the Luofu. As for you, Mr. Craftsman, please go with the Cloud Knights and explain the situation to the judge. I had a feeling that the IPC members would cause trouble, but I didn't think they'd be this tricky. Thanks for your help, Miss Linksha.
I should thank you for saving my life. Your sword skills were impressive, taking down that big guy. I thought the General's retainers were all burly martial masters. I didn't expect Yenqing to be so...
Huh?
As for you, you must be the guests from the Astral Express, right? Saving the Luofu from that crisis. It's so impressive. It wasn't a big deal. Really.
It's still early, so why don't we get some tea at the Alchemy Commission? We can discuss your suggestions for revitalizing the commission.
I'd be happy to accept your invitation.
And you three are coming too, right?
I'm here to pay my respects.
Pretty fast. All these years, and the view at the Alchemy Commission hasn't changed a bit. The tides come and go, but the ancient sea remains the same. For us Vidyadhara, there's nothing more nostalgic than our homeland.
You're a Lofu native, Miss Lingsha?
Yes, I grew up here, listening to the sound of waves while researching prescriptions with my mentors and peers at the Alchemy Commission. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Everything changes but somehow remains familiar. Just like you, Don Hung, I traveled far from home, and now I've returned. Seeing the familiar scenery brings back a hint of nostalgia.
The view here would be even better without the ambrosial arbor.
Oh, really? I think that towering tree looks pretty impressive.
Even if it's impressive, it's a plague mark. The Xianzhou have been fighting abominations for thousands of years. And now that the ambrosial arbor has been reborn, it's only natural for everyone to feel uneasy.
Well, once a seed is planted, no matter how long it takes, it'll eventually sprout and bear fruit. In my humble opinion, the rebirth of the ambrosial arbor and the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were inevitable. The seed was already planted when the ancestors of the Xianzhou sought immortality. My bad. Well, since you went through the entire ambrosial arbor crisis firsthand, Dan Heng and Lieutenant Yan Qing, I'd like to discuss something with you.
What would you like to discuss, Miss Lingsha?
I was lucky enough to be chosen by the Alliance to come in and clean up all the old grime in the Alchemy Commission. Honestly, the Alchemy Commission is riddled with problems and has reached a point where fixing it seems impossible. I'm looking to remedy this problem, but was wondering if you could provide any insights.
Well, even though I'm a Vidyadharan like you, I'm an outsider, just like my companions here. I can't really say much about a remedy, but I do have a piece of advice, Miss Lingsha. The Vidyadhara and the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu have always been intricately connected. If you cannot distance yourself from these ties, Miss Lingsha, changing the situation within the Alchemy Commission may be quite challenging.
I may not know about politics, but I do know that the disciples of Sanctus Medicus have been operating within the Alchemy Commission for years. If you're determined to root them out, maybe you should discuss it with the General.
I see. Thank you for your valuable insights. While the Lux Arrow from the Rainbow possesses unparalleled power to sever the ambrosial arbor, it can't sever mortals' desire to prolong their existence. Just like how the Cloud Knights can eliminate the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but are unable to calm the hearts and minds of the people within the Alchemy Commission. Our Xianzhou forebears knew this well, and that's why they entrusted the duty of guarding the roots of the arbor to the Vidyadhara. However, the Vidyadhara are still only mortal beings. 30 years ago,
My mentor served as Alchemy Commission's Cauldron Master. She recognized the emerging undercurrents and sought to cleanse the source of the disturbance. Unfortunately, even though she was skilled in the art of healing, she didn't understand the human heart or how to eliminate the sickness lurking within the depths of the Alchemy Commission. In the end, she was framed and exiled to the Juming. I was also implicated and had to leave the Lafu. And guess who arbitrated the case and handed down the sentence? None other than General Jing Yuan himself.
What?
You heard it right. The ones responsible for the corruption in the Alchemy Commission are not just the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but even the Divine Foresight himself. Alas, why is your face turning pale, Yanqing? Don't worry about it. I understand that when someone holds a position of power, they may sometimes have to make tough decisions. I won't hold any personal grudges against him. Besides, at our age, holding personal grudges is a luxury we can't afford.
Lingsha, you're back! Ugh, I've been waiting ages for you.
Yunli! Why aren't you with your grandpa? What brings you to the Alchemy Commission? Well, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to Yanqing.
What a small world.
You stole my sword! Give it back!
I see. Let's skip the introduction part then.
Why do I keep bumping into you? Are you stalking me or something?
Of course not. Unlike you, Miss Yunli, I have important things to take care of. You, on the other hand, seem to have all the time in the world to wander around without returning my sword.
Grandpa used to say that a sword reflects its master. I talked to your sword, and it told me that you've been distracted. You hesitate when you should strike, and you struggle to stay calm when your sword is unsheathed. Now that I see you again, I realize your sword was right. It wasn't me who took your sword. It was you who lost focus.
Do you really expect me to believe that nonsense? I've been taking it easy on you because you're a guest from the Juming, but you're not taking the hint. Don't people from the Juming know you're supposed to return what you've borrowed?
Just look at this flying sword. Even if I gave it back to you now, it'd just be taken away again in a few hours. You know the Cloud Knight saying, a Cloud Knight must never let slip their weapon, yes? Well, sure, I can give it back to you now, but on the battlefield, that's a whole different story. Poor flying sword.
Fine! You don't have to give it back, because I'll take it back myself!
Between these two, who do you think is tougher? Don't get me wrong, I'm just curious.
Get ready to separate them.
It is my first day at the Alchemy Commission. A brawl is definitely not how I imagined celebrating it.
Well, since you don't approve, I won't draw my sword here.
I didn't mean it in that way. Since you've already drawn your swords, you'd be disappointed if you didn't get to test one another, right? I've received reports that the delves near the Alchemy Commission are still infested with abominations. Seems like my predecessors left quite a mess. So, if you two want to determine who's better, why not focus on them instead of each other?
Clearing out some abominations? Sounds boring.
It's the Cloud Knight's duty to eliminate those abominations. You don't have to ask me twice, Miss Lingsha. I'll help you get rid of them.
Oh, you think you're the only one who knows how to behave? If Lingsha needs anything, I'll gladly draw my sword and help her out. It's so heartwarming to see both of you being so sweet and caring. So then, shall we get going? Ever since the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were eradicated, their experimental abominations have been festering here. If you want a contest, I'll be the referee. The one who kills the most abominations within 15 minutes wins. Lingsha, as always, you're still an expert in making unpaid work sound so noble and grand. It's for your own good, little Yunli. While you desire to compete against each other, I don't want to see either of you getting hurt.
That's really thoughtful of you, Cauldron Master.
So, are you both ready? Ugh. Looks like my predecessor. Let me say it again. The one who kills the most abominations. Be careful when you draw your swords, and make sure you don't hurt each other. Can we start?
How many can you block?
Bladed flight!
Your end approaches.
Need a doctor?
It's time.
A one-time enemy. Strike with heart. I didn't expect someone who can't even hold on to his sword to actually have to stand to earth. You've got style with those moves, but you're not striking where it counts. It's such a shame to see you misuse your sword like that. Let me turn your... Practice is over. Swords descend!
It's time. Lance forward!
Ow! Time for swordplay. Strike with heart.
That paradise may be unreachable for me. Savor it for me.
Through clouds! What's in your prescription?
Nice teamwork.
Bladed flight!
It's time.
Help me!
How many can you block? Strike with heart.
Stand to earth!
Practice is over. Swords descend.
You impede me. I failed to send you.
I'm okay.
That paradise, savor it for me.
Lance ablaze! Lance forward!
Time for swordplay. Bladed flight!
The fight is set.
How many can you block? Strike with heart.
Stand to earth! Need a doctor? Bladed flight! Practice is over. Swords descend!
A blade knows no mercy.
You don't look so... What's in your prescription?
I can breathe easy again. Strike with heart!
Send to Earth!
I'm Lance ablaze! Lance forward! I'm okay.
You impede me. Failed to send you. Savor it for me.
A one-time enemy, blade and flight! How many can you strike with heart? Practice is over. Swords descend!
Lance at the ready. Lance ablaze! Lance forward!
Send to Earth! See? I won. Your technique was all over the place, and you relied too much on speed. Is this really all the Cloud Knights of the Lawfu can muster? So disappointing.
All you did was chop down a few monsters. Don't get carried away with yourself.
Oh. Well, then I'll give you a chance. Defeat me, or hand over all your swords.
If you're trying to pick a fight, just ask, because I'm ready for ya.